Hey guys, Pixelmon here. Please ignore the fact that I'm a Steve. That's just because my internet just recently, crashed. I wanted to record this video anyways, because there is no internet lead needed. Basically, you may see that all the Pokemon spawning around me are shiny, and if you look closely, this Corphish doesn't look as it's supposed to, as well as this Corsola. Why is it all blocky, you may ask? Well, today I'll be covering all kinds of stuff that you can change in your Pixelmon configuration file, and such as making all Pokemon shiny, changing the starters, and of course many other things that will reduce lag, will be awesome features for your server, and also may just define your series. For example, there is one little thing that makes all Pokemon 30% smaller, which is so awesome. And as you can see, this is an ordinary Corsola, and it's freaking tiny. So Krabby just initiated a battle with me, and it's gonna beat me up. Anyways, maybe not. So hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get straight to it. Hey guys, Pixelmon here for a very special video. So there is no real reason why I'm doing this today, but I actually really wanted to do a Pixelmon tutorial. So I looked at different Pixelmon tutorials that had been done, and I thought that there was one thing that wasn't covered too widely, which was the Pixelmon config. So I'm doing a video tutorial on like a pretty much complete guide on the current configuration in the Pixelmon 3.3.8 update. So first off, I'm gonna cover how to get here. So basically, you're gonna want to go to your Minecraft, go to Open Game DIR, then you can just click into your config, and then you go down to Pixelmon. And if you want to open this with the program, like with the program you use, I use Edit Notepad++. Or else you could just use, you could also use the default Windows Notepad program. Anyways, back to the configuration. So, the top stuff is just AFK handlers, which will be more server settings, and it's, as it says, you can just see how long it takes for a player to be declared AFK while in a battle. So, like, essentials will have to work with that, I guess. And then when you scroll down, you can see all the IDs for the badges. So if you want to make a shop in your server, you can either use the codes from here, or you can do /itemdb on the if you have essentials, sorry, and it will give you the item ID. So there's berries, there's blocks, Anyways, so here we have the breeding settings. So first one obviously will allow crafting and placing of ranch blocks. So usually you want to have that true unless you don't want breeding on your server. Crafting of ranch blocks. If your server is not survival, I would recommend this. Or if it is survival and you don't want them to be able to craft them, then do change that to false. And so here, allow placing of ranch blocks again. So usually I would set that to true. Then so allow ranch expansion is if you want the the ranch expansion item in the game. Here you have if enabled, random eggs from Ditto breeding might contain legendaries. So that's actually a really fun config option to have on, especially in the Pixelmon Egglock series, because a few people did get legendaries. So of course we had the allow random spawned eggs to have a chance to be legendary. Anyways, also a config option that we changed for the Pixelmon Egglock is number of stages to go through before the breeding occurs. So actually no, wrong config. But you can use this, and basically the lower it is, the faster breeding is, but here it is. So sets the number of steps per egg cycle. So we changed that to 1, so the eggs will hatch on almost automatically. So that was a really fun thing because you could just move around and your eggs would hatch, so you didn't have to wait, and you could get straight into training. So here, control the speed of breeding based on the block set in the area. So this is basically on. You can go to the Pixelmon Wikipedia page if you want, or you can look up a tutorial. This is about breeding environments. So different types of Pokemon need different blocks underneath them if this is set to true, and if they have those blocks, it will speed up the breeding process. So yeah, number of ticks till breeding level goes up by 1. This is just I'm not exactly sure how ticks work. You can tell me below. It might be how many blocks the world generates, or how many. Yeah, I think it's how many blocks the world generates. I'm not so sure though. But yeah, you can change that to a lower number if you want it to go by faster. So here we have the IDs for the evolution stones, fossils, and here we go, general settings. So here you have one config option which allows Pokemon to capture outside of battle. Usually you want that set to true, but the thing is that there are a lot of glitches involving that. Namely, sometimes if you throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and it doesn't successfully catch, the Pokemon will then despawn. So next up, we have allows players to make rare candies by crafting. If you have a survival series and you want a server and you want it to be slightly tougher, I would change that to false, so you can only buy them or get only buy them, I guess. So allows the 18 types of gems to be dropped by bosses. Allow gem boss drops. I think it's by default false because the Halloween event is now over, I believe. But allows the 18 types of gems to be crafted by players. If you want recipes for those, they're again on the Pixelmon Wikipedia page. So that's also by default true. So here it is. Determines if a player vs player battles give Pokemon experience. So you can also change whether a Pokemon battle will give experience, but this is just if you have a survival server and you don't want people to be able to enchant from Pokemon battles. You want them to be able to buy like bottles of enchanting or whatever to gain experience. Then you can set that to false. So next up we have allow players to plant acorns / berries in the ground. If you don't want people to be able to craft berries or like Pokeballs, then you can set that to false, and that will make it so people have to get them from boss drops or also from a shop that you set up. So permits bosses to drop ranch area upgrades. You can set that to false if you just want people to be able to buy them. Then this one's very important. Allows players to ride Pokemon. So if you have a server that's adventure and you want people to not cheat during something like parkour, then I would set that to false. So here allows random structures such as Pokemon centers, shrines, and other buildings. If you don't have a survival server, I would turn this to false because if you're going to build your own types of towns and stuff like that, then it'd be kind of annoying if a person walked far out and happened to stroll into like a Poke Center or a shrine. Anyways, so here, again, determines if player versus trainer battles give Pokemon experience, and that's also by default true. So, allow the anvil to replace finished items with starting items from player's inventory. That's just a auto reloading thing. You can turn that to true if you want the anvil whole system to be smoother. Then down here we have allow the player to nickname Pokemon. This isn't a server-wide setting because you can't set it on your server that people can't set nicknames. It's just for yourself if you do choose to do so. Anyways, this setting here, I would always turn off because you don't want vanilla mobs to spawn because they can kill you while battling. So that would be quite annoying. And yeah, so here set legendary spawns to one use or multiple uses. So bird shrines are reusable. I set it to false because that's usually the default setting. But if you have a server where there's only like one single shrine, like on the Pixelmon Island servers, then you can set that to true. So here it's just cloning machines enabled. Back here it's when mounted enables the steering Pokemon by looking. That determines whether you like how you like to ride Pokemon. It's basically a point of opinion, how you find it easiest. Here, lets you choose to give the player / not give the player a starter on join. So, if you set this as false, players that join won't actually get a starter. So if you want to give the player, like, for example, a Pokemon that, actually, if you want the player to start without Pokemon, which would be kind of mean, you just set that false, but that's what we did on the Egglock as well. So, here we have requires HM, Fly, or Surf to be able to ride it. So that's a setting that you might want on a server that is like adventure related, and I accidentally had that on earlier, so that's why in my earlier mod showcases I could not fly on Pokemon. So here it's just if you want bosses to drop the Hourglass, Izzy's Hourglass. Here you have it that it's a server option, so must be opt to use spawners. It's true by default. Here you go. Sets how far Pixelmon names and levels can be seen from. This is a client setting only because you can't choose for everyone, because if you have it to far or farther, it will automatically create more lag, so you can't automatically just create a laggy server. So, yeah, allows wild Pokemon to drop items, that's by default true, so that's basically Pokemon drops if you want them enabled or not. Then, so prints more detailed error messages to the server, .log file if enabled, so that's, just if you want to, I guess, have your server file report Pixelmon related errors, then here remove Minecraft music. This isn't actually a configurable option because it's currently locked due to true encode. So it does automatically remove Minecraft music and replace it with the Pixelmon music. So this one is by default true, but it increases size of Pixelmon models in game by 30%. So if you wanted to play, like, I don't know, if you wanted to make a Pixelmon series where everything's tiny, then you can set this to false. Just to, at the end, I'll show you guys how the game would look with a few config options changed. I'm going to set that to false, so all my Pokemon are going to be a lot smaller. So here we have Legendary Birds to Shrine if you want to spawn them. Then allows the Haunted Jeweler Shrines to spawn automatically in the world. Usually you have to do the use the command. Anyways, so battle rotates around the player if true and is stationary false. Automatically is true, but being true will create a lot more lag for you. So that's really just a choice you might want to choose for yourself. Anyways, set traders to only one use or multiple uses. That's either false or true. By default, it's only one use, but if you have a server, you might want to change that. So this is just a change of trainer rarity, and then you can choose if you want static models or low resolution models. Here you have just some tab options. Well, so yeah, and then here you have if you want wild Pokemon to initiate battles. So for example, Arbok, when you run into them, they attack you. You can set that to false if you don't want annoying stuff like that. Anyways, back to here is a very rather interesting config option. So it allows wild Pokemon to try and flee from battles. So in Pokemon games, as you know, with for example in the game Heart Gold, with all the legendary dogs, they do flee after one turn each time you find them. So that was very annoying, and if you want it to be very annoying, then sure, turn that to true on your server. Anyways, this one is a line of configuration which actually does a lot more than you think. So write entities to world save. If you change this to true, and if you have the iChun util and the morphing mod, this will allow you to morph into Pokemon. So note that, please, that if you set this to true, you will be able to morph into Pokemon. Of course, it will create, increases the save file size, so you'll have more, it might in the long term lag out your computer more. Anyways, here you have graphics settings. If you have basically a computer running on potato power, then you can change, so you have, you can change the smooth shading for Pokeballs and Pokemon. I'm just gonna turn both of these to off, to false, just to show you guys how it look. False. Alright, then multiply of the 64 distance, usually used for rendering. So this is just how much you want to render. This is just basically based on your computer strength. Then here, show current attack target. That is just, I think for double battles, I'm not exactly sure. But here you have the, use the low resolution textures. I'm not going to do that for now. But, yeah, so use the original Pokemon texture for statues. That's by default false, but you can change that to true if you, want. So anyways, that's basically if you want, smooth or non-smooth textures for the Pixelmon statues. So here are more held items, and now it is the, again, IDs, scrolling through them, more IDs, more IDs, more IDs. Now Pokeloot settings, you can just change whether you want, you can change the modes, you can change the chest spawn rate, and you can allow hidden grottos, hidden Pokechests, and or you could just disable normal Pokechests by automatically. Anyways, here you can also change the frequency of timed loot. And yeah, so now it's the real section that everyone wants to mess with. It's the settings that control what Pixelmon spawn and how many spawn. So here's a setting that I accidentally had off while I was looking for Mew for most of the time. So it's allow legendaries to spawn. You can set that to false if you don't want them to spawn, like on a server. Then here, forces wild Pokemon to despawn after a battle. So I would set that to false because that can be quite annoying. Anyways, this lets you choose, especially this one, if a Pokemon uses Roar and it despawns, that would be terrible. Anyways, so this one, you can just choose the dimension that Pokemon will spawn in the Pixelmon spawner. Here you have whether you want a global message, whether the legendary has spawned in, biome appears. So this is the following are very interesting. So if you want your server to be like Kanto based, Johto based, Hoenn based, or Sinnoh based, or Unova based, this one isn't gonna do anything because there aren't any Gen 6 yet. Then you can set these to, you set all the other ones apart from the region or generation your server is going to be based on to false. So only, for example, generation 2 will spawn. So yeah, you can change the legendary spawn rate. You can change it to 1 if you want them to spawn really easily. Then here you can change the max amount of Pokemon at the same time. For air Pokemon, you want to keep that really low because it is going to lag a lot. If you have like, I once made the mistake of turning that to 20 and it was insane. There were like Fearos flying all around the server and it was really annoying. Anyways, max number of land Pokemon, you get the point. You can change this and water Pokemon. This one will by default be the highest, I believe, and you should keep that the highest because most of the water Pokemon that spawn in, especially in ponds or smaller water basins, will be Magikarps. So I mean, it's not gonna really change much. So the here you can do something very interesting. So by default, the shiny spawn rate is 8192, but you can change this to 1 if you want every single Pokemon to be shiny. So yeah, then I'm just gonna change that to true for now, just for fun. And then we have starter settings. So this is also like this is the end, but this is the most interesting setting. So for example, I can change the starters to shiny, which I did by setting it to true. And also, very interestingly, I can actually choose what the starters will be, like which one you choose. But so just to show you guys, I'm actually going to make it so that you can only have one choice of starter, and so if you want it to be in the middle, then don't change the config, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna have one choice of starter, and it's gonna be the first one, and I'm going to make it I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna make it Corsola just for fun, because that was one of the recent Pokemon added that I haven't really seen much in worlds or servers or anything. So why not? Anyways, so I'm getting a bit of lag here. It's just because editing the config will lag your computer always. Anyways, so just delete these, delete that, and then I'll change the first one to Corsola. So you want to always have the first letter a capital letter, because otherwise it won't remember what Pokemon it is. So basically, you always want to save. Always. It's like the #1 rule for doing anything. Click save, and then click save profile in your Minecraft, and then you can click press play. So I'll be right back with the new world. Then we can check out what config options we did. Alright, see you guys. Alright, so we created a brand new world with all the config options that we altered. So you may notice that our starter has to be a Corsola, and also all the other starters, if you look in close, it will say GUI starter dot coming soon. So that's a pretty cool feature that was used when there weren't all of these starters in game. I remember back in the day when there was only Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Eevee, but then there were only 4 little question marks. Anyways, let's go to Corsola, and we have to select him, and of course, it's gonna be shiny, yay! Also, look at this. Because we changed the config option, now the models are not smooth. So you can see all the blocky parts of it, and also when I sent out the Pokeball, you can see that the Pokeballs weren't smooth either. So let me just get out a Pokeball and drop it and show you guys how it looks. So yeah, you can see it's not at all like the Pokeball you're used to. So if you have a laggy computer in general, then I would recommend that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that if I go to the Chisel now, and then I go to Corsola right here, and yeah, so I want to show you guys that now. So that's a ginormous Corsola, and let's look at ours. Ours is ordinary, and just look at how much smaller it is compared to that ginormous one. I know that normally the ginormous one would be bigger, but because we made the models 30% smaller, that of course happened. Anyways, let's look around and look at all the wild Pokemon. They're all shiny. Whoa! Alright, so because I set the shiny spawn rate to 1 in out of 1, all shinies are all Pokemon that spawn are now shinies. So yeah, you can easily have like a shiny series like that, and all these Magikarps are really cute. But that's not really the main config option that I wanted to cover today, because most people do know about that one. But hopefully that's one of the things that I covered today would be useful to you. That's what I hope. That's kind of what the point is with these tutorials. And so if you did enjoy the video, and if you learned anything new, then please hit that awesome like button. If you're new to my content, then please do hit that awesome looking subscribe button. And yeah, so here you have it. This is how you can change your Pokemon experience in Minecraft completely, and with different models. He's not coming out. Yeah, with non-smooth models. Of course, for the Pokemon that don't have smooth models yet, like this Slowpoke over here, there won't be any difference. Yeah, so, yeah, let's look at this Corphish, for example. This guy had a smooth model, now he's all blocky, but, to be honest, the blocky models, is it just me, or they actually don't look that bad? It's probably just because I've been playing Pixelmon so long that I'm kind of used to them. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you do want to see any more tutorials, Be sure to comment more tutorials and also give me an idea of what kind of tutorial you'd like to see. And hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys all next time.